Friday, November 14th, you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host for today, Jace Cooper, alongside my producer, Jacob Gramegna, for the next hour or so. And it's a beautiful Friday. The sun is shining. It's a little cold, but a little warmer than normal.
Is the sun shining?
A little bit. It was shining a bit when I came in. At least. No, it's a beautiful Friday. Looking forward to the weekend. Got a loaded slate of things for us this weekend. We got NBA Cup tonight. We got, of course, NFL Sunday. Stacked Saturday college football slate. The Grey Cup on Sunday as well. Lots and lots to talk about today. And we have a great show for you to lead you into the weekend. To start things off, Pips is going to be joining us, as he always does, on this beautiful Friday. Breaking down NBA props, talking through some games, talking through some NBA Cup stuff. And then after Pips, Jack Miller's going to come on, join the show, talk through some NFL player props for this weekend, sift through some injuries. I'm curious to see what he thinks of Jameis Winston, how that's going to affect things. Denver and their RB usage. It seems like a lot of people are thinking, nope, it's just going to be RJ Harvey carrying the rock. I don't know. Sean Payton talked about Jaleel McLaughlin in some of these practice reports. Why is he bringing up his name? Guy has like 3 carries on the year. He's bringing his name up, though. Could be something interesting. Davis Sanchez follows up Jack.
Hopefully.
All the way from Winnipeg. If it's Tech is working, I think it will be. I think we'll be fine. He's in Winnipeg right now for the Grey Cup. Should be fun. Alouettes taking on the Rough Riders Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, it should be a little interesting game. A little bit of CFL action. Hopefully we can get to his thoughts on the new rules, which I wanted to talk to him about yesterday. And then if we have a little bit of time with him, I want to get his just general thoughts on maybe the NFL, or maybe we can talk USC. There we go again. That USC reference that everyone always likes to make fun of me for the show. I don't know how I'm going to do it in the offseason, though. It's going to be a little bit tougher to do. But college football's still on, so I can reference them. Finally, to close out the show, we got a 4-burger for you today. G-Stack George is going to come on, talk through some survivors, talk through our underdog parlay. Maybe he'll give out a prop as well. Last week, unfortunately, that prop did lose. TreVeyon Henderson, over 22.5 rushing yards. But, I mean, he played yesterday and he ended up hitting his over. But yeah, last Sunday, when George came on for Friday, talked TreVeyon Henderson receiving yards. And that, unfortunately. I was
going to say, I'm pretty sure he went over yards.
Receiving yards. Apologies. Receiving yards. That unfortunately did not. Yeah, he had like 2 60-yard runs.
Yeah,
which is,
yeah. So I was confused.
Crazy. Yeah. No, you know what? It's Friday. Mine's not fully there. Yeah, it's a fun game. Did you watch the game last night at all, or you were watching the Raptors, weren't you?
I actually missed yesterday because I was watching the Raptors. I did catch the end of the game and the miraculous cover of the spread by the Patriots, which I didn't have any action on. Mm-hmm. But enjoyed my Raptors. They're looking pretty good, man.
So I've heard.
Another impressive win.
So I've heard. I have a question for you. I used my one time on the Jets yesterday, like I said during the show, on the Jets plus 610 money line over at FanDuel. Obviously, it lost. It was close for a little bit. Do I get my one time back? How's this going to work now?
I think so. I think you get it back.
A little bet back token.
I would love to hear what you think in the chat. If you use your one time, is that it? Whether you win or lose? I feel like it needs to happen one time for it to be your one time.
I thought maybe I would get like a little bit of a break because there was a one point during the stream when we were talking. I think it was the third last drive. Hitman comes on. He just like doesn't say anything. He just says, "All right, everyone bet Justin Fields unders. Go. Just bet anything Fields unders." I'm like, what the hell's going on? Betting Fields unders. I'm like, okay, there's a chance here. Maybe Tyrod Taylor comes in, saves the day. Fields ends up trotting back out. We ended up hitting that, but yeah, I thought I had it for a second. I thought that was my one time in action, but never worked out for me. Anyways, before we get into Pips and we bring up Pips, just want to remind you guys, with football in full swing and basketball back on the board, now's the time to lock in the BetStamp Pro prop screen. Pro is built for high-level bettors who need to spot and scale up edges fast. Between NFL Sundays, college football Saturdays, and daily NBA action, prop markets are more liquid and prices are sharper than ever, so the window to exploit inefficient numbers is right now. You can't do that without a hyper-efficient, reliable, true line that shows you the real market price in seconds across 150-plus outs, helping you find and hit scalable edges fast. Don't wait. The opportunity to capitalize on the prop market is right now. Visit betstamp.com/hammer to scan the QR or scan the QR code to apply for a demo. Spots are limited during the season. I use this stuff all the time. Jacob, I know you use it as well. It's pretty helpful if you're looking to
very helpful
identify some edges. So, yeah. you could be like me and identify edges through the BetStamp Pro Prop Scheme, or you could just be like our first guest here and just know a ridiculous amount of ball. He's an NBA props originator, co-founder of Props Madness. You know him, you love him. Let's get ones in the chat for Pips. Pips, how's it going?
Hey, man. Going great. Friday, big slate, and yeah. So, I mean, I always say big slate because I'm only joining on the show when we have the big slate. So, yeah, highly correlated. Yeah.
There you go. That's a sharp what's it called? Sharp look there from you. High correlation on that. Let's talk through what happened on Wednesday, which also had a big slate. We got hooked. We got hooked on Alexander Walker. Got 16 points, and that was a last-second switch up from the other guy who Risacher.
We have a French guy here, so we have
a guy who speaks French, thankfully, on the cast.
Risacher. It happens. That stuff kind of happens with the last-minute switch up.
He only played he played low. He scored 14 points. We didn't get hooked. We bet him.
I was gonna say I thought he had 14.
I thought he had 16. I was probably looking at the
you
wrong
got
game.
me confused there. I was
there was a winning hook though on SGA. Was that one of the other bets we had?
No.
Oh, sorry.
We didn't have SGA.
Different. That was one of my own. Sorry to flex by accident. Accidental flex.
I predicted usage very well. He even got more usage than I expected. But 14 points in 21 minutes. He was expected to play 32. So we were kind of on pace. Just a huge blowout. They won by 33. I think they were up like 35 mid-third. So he never turned. Then the guy that we wanted to bet is a Shea. I don't know. Probably close. I think he went like 6 or 7 from the field. So he got kind of lower usage than I expected. But he was hella efficient. So made up for it. But yeah. I think overall, long-term, Walker was better bet. So kind of good with it.
Yeah, good process, unfortunate outcome. Speaking of good process, Derek Queen, you had the over 10.5. He ended up scoring like 24, 25, 26 points. Like, smash spot. Smash spot. Yeah.
This is one of the quickest wins I ever had. Sometimes you have like 2 assists and he hits first quarter, like the lower lines. But this guy, we bet over 10.5 points. He didn't start. He come off to bench and cashed in the first quarter. You can't ask for more than that.
You can't just a sweat-free win in the first quarter. You're just good from there. The unfortunate one was we lost a pretty big SGP. I thought it was a decent look though, because we had the Jaime Jaquez 4+ assists. You had the Kellel Ware double, but the 4+ threes for Merrill. I mean, it was 1 of 8 from 3. He wasn't afraid to chuck it up. He just couldn't land it.
Yeah, absolutely love my bet there. First, everything went against us. But when he was on the court, the shots were in his hands. Like first, he started 0 from 5. Foul trouble, got benched. Then came back, made 1 3. Then missed next 2, and got benched because he fucking sucked. So he got 8 attempts in 20 minutes. And he was supposed to play 34 minutes without foul trouble and without being ass. So, he was expected to take 12 plus threes, and we needed 4. So, yeah, can't do much about him missing every single look. And this line, yeah. So we bet it when it was like minus 125, minus 130. It closed minus 170. So, yeah, can't do much there. That's just how it goes. 3s, high variance. Yeah, so yeah.
That's all right.
Can't do much.
It is what it is. And a quick reminder, we have a couple plays for you in the chat. If you have any questions, please don't do what you guys did last Wednesday when you right when Pips left, I got like 2 questions in the chat. Right as you were leaving, thankfully you stuck around in the chat and ended up answering them anyways. But yeah, if you guys have questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat before Pips heads out here. Let's get into the plays you have for today. You have 2 for today, 1 player prop and 1 SGP. We're going to go to the Clippers game first. You wanted to bet on Zubac over 16.5 points, I believe.
Yeah, so Zubat is Croatian, and it's Zubac, like C, like Zubat.
Zubac.
Yeah. I will usually wear his jersey, like his. I have some T-shirt left, like about Zubac. He's like our guy, like our the guy for Croatian national team, and also like one of our best players.
Is it like a Godfather shirt? I forget.
Yeah. Because him and Bojan Bogdanovic are like best mans, and they usually called themselves Kume, which is translated Godfather, and like it's our national team kind of. Everyone calls him the Godfather. So we have like a big basketball brand in Croatia, huge on like social media, and they created those shirts. So yeah, it kind of got like popular. So talking about the bet, first off, Zubac this season on averaging 15 points, up and down, some huge blowouts. If you exclude blowouts, it gets a bit better. We have a filter for a win-loss margin. So in the games where they didn't, let's use the minutes filter for this one. He's expected to play 28 to 36 minutes. So when we check for those minutes on the season, usage goes up a bit. Average goes up a bit to 16, but important part is no Kawhi Leonard and no Bradley Beal. If you look at the games, the last 4 games without Kawhi, his usage was 22, 20, 22, and 30%. So last 4 games, he averaged like 25% usage, with the lowest being 20%. So if you take a look at last, like, I don't know, like 18 games when he had usage conservatively, let's put between 18 and 25%, and make sure to hit the minutes correctly. Like 26 plus, he's for sure going to play tonight. We can see that he averaged in those kind of minutes and without this kind of usage, like playing 26 to 38 minutes and conservative usage, like he averaging without Kawhi and Beal like 25. We are doing 18 to 25, and we can see that he's averaging 20 points, and the line is set at 16. And also, this matchup is absolutely amazing. When we check how he performs against teams, like first off, he scores all of his points in the paint. We can see a lot of green one. They are allowing in the paint. They allow 5th most total in the paint points, and they allow above average against post-ups, and a ton of putbacks where he scores 22% of his points. So we filter out the teams that allow putbacks. Only the best teams against the putbacks. We can see that he's hit this line in 16 out of 18 in this kind of scenario, and that's what we are trying to do. And we can see that guys like Hartenstein, Wembanyama, Alex Sarr, Şengün kind of cooked Dallas. So I think he's in a great spot, great matchup, great usage. Like Bill out, Kawhi out, Bogdan not playing big minutes. Like the entire offense is like pick and roll. Zubac and Harden pick and roll with John Collins and getting some finishes to Zubac. So entire offense of Clippers, which sucks, by the way. We can't deny that. Clippers suck this season, but Zubac should be a bright spot, especially today.
All right. Zubac should be a bright spot for today. The chat is asking if you're assuming that AD is out for this game.
I don't think that matters at all. AD is not playing the 5. Like they will be better with AD, but I just think like, especially like him coming back just recently, like this will be probably the first game, if he returns. So yeah, him being back I'm a little bit worried about Lively being back.
Okay.
Because but he will probably go off the bench or play very very limited minutes, and Zubac should play like 34, 35 tonight, so he will get plenty of matchups, favorable matchups. But it's more like not like a individual player type problem, because Dallas plays single coverage and they do not allow threes, so they force their guys inside. Like they are willing to take shots at the rim because they have great rim protections, and that's how they play.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that question from the chat. Let's move on to the next bet that you have here, which is comes in the San Antonio Spurs game. The Spurs game. Spurs and Warriors. Wembanyama, you're looking at his 20-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, 4-plus assists. Talk us through the alien, why you like him here.
Yeah, so just looking at the last game, I wasn't even pulling up props madness for this one. Just talking about like what I've seen in the last game. Last game against they played 2 days ago. Wembanyama end up the game with 31 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists, triple double for Victor Wembanyama. I don't see what different they can do. Golden State Warriors. They played some single coverage with Draymond. Whenever he had a mismatch, they doubled. Played some zone, so assists should be there. Plenty of rebounding chances for him, and then scoring. Had a great usage. Season high, 36%. So that's all that matters. Like no heavy front and double. He got the ball. I see it tonight as well. So yeah, Damon Green fouled out defending him. Yeah, don't see the very much different scenario, especially because the Golden State Warriors won that game. So maybe we get a bit more aggressive Wembanyama because they need a lot from him, even though Fox is out. Fox is back. So yeah, think we are good here. Wemby did struggle a couple of games when they forced up like heavy double teams on him against like Houston, Lakers, Phoenix. He had 3 games like where he scored like 22 or less points, and then last 2 games 38, 31. Back to it, kind of figure out some sort of like he struggled for 3 games. Okay, when I do this, I do that, and kind of a bit figuring it out. So I expect a big game from Wembanyama tonight against the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, big game from Wemby here, and I mean, if you want to use your profit boost token that's available on FanDuel, you should probably use it on this. You could also get a no sweat bet as well, or a bet back token, one or the other. But yeah, if you're gonna want to do that, make sure you use that over here. Pips, do you like anything else for this this slate? You have any other props for us? I know you only sent me 2, but anything you like? Because listen, I see the Derek Queen one, and I'm like, you like the over 10.5. He smashed in the first 10 minutes of the game, first quarter of the game, and like. Do you ever look towards alts for these sorts of things when you feel like you have a good angle? Like, because if you like just again using last Wednesday, if you like Queen's over 10.5, you must also like some of his alts as well. Do you ever look into that stuff, or is that really not really what you like to look at?
So we had a question about last show. We had a question about Rich Shepard. And I kind of smashed his 4+3s, 5+3s. I don't even remember, but like plus 1,000 on play 5 plus, or even higher. I think +4 was like plus 600-700. I can't remember. I did like combination of, but yeah, I was pretty much high on Rich Shepard on that game when I realized like it's a blowout and he is getting a ton of run. I said he will be good, and then we had a 21-point game for a Rich Shepard off the bench. Kind of nailed that one, but yeah, I should definitely call the that's like laddering, famously called on Twitter, but like betting all the big alt lines. I do that often. Don't do that much on the shows, but maybe I should. Maybe they are just fun thing to do moving forward. So I'll definitely consider that moving forward.
Yeah, no, you don't. I don't want to force you into doing anything. I just always think about stuff like this because, like, yeah, you're really good at pricing out like the mean outcomes here for these props, and just like naturally, if you're good at pricing the mean outcomes, I also think that you have a good chance at pricing like sort of like towards the larger tail.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I would say most of my bets have high ceiling because it's like not betting on like I have a projection, then I have like a one point off edge. I'm betting on defensive scheme most of the time. So yeah, if I have like a read that they are leaving guy open, betting he could smash for a huge numbers that night. For example, like some player like I don't know. I've seen Rockets. I played the Bucks, and I knew they will leave Kuzma open. They did, but he didn't make many threes. But he was open, wide open. They ignored him. So his floor, if he hit one, he will go for it like and could hit 3 to 4, which is like plus 1,000 or something. So yeah, definitely need to go look into there. But I'm usually sharing straights on the show because audience and people watching I'm good with variance. I can lose 15 bets in a row. I won't feel bad about it. But if you go with like 15 losses on log shots on the show, it's a bit rough. But so I'm kind of adjusting to the show.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense here. I just know some of the people in the chat might like that stuff, and I think I misspoke there. I said meant to say median. Good catch there, Giovanni. Before I let you go, any opinions on the NBA Cup, which we're playing tonight? I think there's only two more games left in the round robin stage. Do you think our Raptors, mine and Jacob's Raptors, have a chance to win this thing?
They've been playing really well. Kind of finally figure out that transition game and stopping transition, both sides. Really liked how Scotty Barnes is looking, but he had some great starts to the seasons and then fall off. So hopefully for Jacob's sake and you guys for entire Canada's sake, it doesn't happen this season. But yeah, I think that especially in there on East. Yeah.
All right. Hopefully we can pull this one out. Pips, appreciate you joining the show. We will chat next week.
See ya, guys.
Awesome stuff there. Thanks again, Pips. Great stuff. Jacob, how are you feeling about the Raptors? Do you even care about the NBA Cup? Like, I know it's something that just kind of was made up out of the blue.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's better than not having an NBA Cup. Like, it's provides a little bit of extra something to some less meaningful regular season games. Provides a little bit of extra spice, and for a team like the Raptors that doesn't really have championship aspirations, or at least realistic championship aspirations, is interesting for those teams to be able to get in that sort of environment. And yeah, I'm excited. They're in a good spot to win their group and advance. I'd love to see some elimination game Raptors basketball.
Yeah, no, it could be. Seems like it's fun. Is this the second or third year they've introduced? Third year. Okay. Lakers won the first year, then Golden State won the second year.
The Bucks last year. The Bucks didn't even celebrate. Like, they had like champagne and beer in the change room for them, and they just ignored it, which was kind of a bad look for the NBA.
Yeah. Well, hey, they got a ton of sponsorship money from Emirates that's sponsoring them. Anyways, it's good for the league, good for everyone.
Hopefully, good for the league.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I mean, it gets the players paid more money, so I'd assume the players.
You get a big bonus if you win it.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our next guest here. Appreciate Pips joining the show again. Quickly, before we move on, though, just a reminder that buckets, buzzer beaters, and your choice of rewards, that's how FanDuel does the basketball season. With FanDuel, you can choose your reward, play it your way, pick what fits your game, and take control of how you bet. Take your shot with a profit boost, play it cool with a no-sweat bet, or get a little backup with a bet-back token. Listen, we just talked about two props that you could bet these, use these tokens on. So yeah, pick one of them, use it. That's what I'm going to do after this show's over. Whatever fits your game, the choice is yours. That's what happens when you play on a sports book built for your game. However you play, FanDuel's giving you the power to choose your rewards. Head over to FanDuel.com/forwardprogress to make your choice. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, 19 plus and physically located in Ontario, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 877 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call Connex Ontario 1-866-531-2600 or visit connexontario.ca. All right. Up next, we got Jack Miller joining the show. He does NFL fantasy betting and projections for Establish the Run. He's going to come on here and give us a deep cut anytime touchdown like he always does whenever he joins the show. Jack, how's it going, my friend?
It's going good. 1-1 on the deep cut anytime touchdown. So hopefully we can get back on the winning track here. Although they are deep cuts, so I mean probably not, but it'll be fun regardless.
Listen, you gave yourself so much future equity by hitting I think it was plus 400 or plus 600 on Darnell Washington, which is what we were looking for. So you have 4 weeks to make up for it. But then we're gonna start getting on you. But I'm just kidding about that. I'm forcing you into these plays. So, anyways, where should we start here? A lot of injuries this week. Few injuries actually, not too many. I don't know why I say a lot of injuries this week. Couple usage scenarios. I want to start maybe with the Denver running back usage. We see RJ Harvey listed at 54.5 rushing yards right now over on FanDuel. I think a lot of people are just assuming that majority of the work that J.K. Dobbins get is going to go straight to RJ Harvey, but that might not be the case. We've seen Sean Payton mention Jaleel McLaughlin by name in press conferences. Whenever I hear a coach mention a player by name who hasn't been used recently around these injuries, that usually means something. So that kind of made my ears perked up. Is it going to be as clear cut as Harvey getting the majority of the Dobbins work, or do you think that we're going to see a lot more from Batty and McLaughlin this week?
I do think it'll be a lot of Harvey. He's been the only one they've really trusted for rushing work beyond Dobbins all season. McLaughlin's been inactive in all games except one so far this year. I do think obviously McLaughlin's going to be active here with Dobbins out. And I think there's a good chance that he's the RB2 ahead of Bidet right away. Bidet has largely just been in a pass catching role all year. And they like him in that role. So I think that could continue. But with that being said, I do think it's going to be a lot of Harvey. But with that being said, we still are projecting a lot of Harvey, and we still aren't really showing any value on his overs or anything just because of the matchup.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I was thinking maybe, again, with my touchdown scorers, is Batty or McLaughlin? I want to see if there's something we can attack here, but it feels like Dobbins will be getting the red zone work, as we've seen with Dobbins in that Harvey kind of gets that work. They like to gadget him up in the pass game, things like that. But also Sean Payton is such a dick. Honestly, I don't know what else there is to say with his play calling. He really likes to mix up personnel and mess people up. So it'll be interesting to see. Feels like Harvey's kind of at the just about the right number there. Let's flip over and talk the Arizona pass catching group. We got some pretty weird news. Marvin Harrison had his appendix removed. Sure, he's fine, but it's going to take 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks to get those stitches to heal up. What does that mean for their pass catching group? Is this just a full go for Trey McBride? Are we going to see Michael Wilson work in? Are we going to see Greg Dortch work in? McBride right now is 76.5 receiving yards, pretty high. If you had to choose one between Wilson and Dortch to get kind of that secondary work, who would it be and why?
I think it's going to be Wilson because for the most part, they've kept Dortch in the slot this year. And we saw that last week as well. Once Zay Jones left, they kind of used Simi Fihoko on the outside. But he's also out. So it's the receiving core this week is Michael Wilson. There's Dortch, who they've got mostly in the slot, and then Xavier Weaver, who played a little bit on the outside last year when Marvin Harrison left the game early. I think it was week 6 last year. So I guess Xavier Weaver would be maybe the second outside receiver here, but there's going to be a lot of Dortch. Probably an uptick for Elijah Higgins as well. But I do think that Wilson's role as the wide receiver 1 here is pretty safe since they have used him on the outside. And so he should pretty seamlessly slide into the wide receiver 1 role. And then it is a boost for Trey McBride as well, obviously, just because Michael Wilson never been much of a target earner. So you're missing 20% of targets with Marvin Harrison. So that's a pretty sizable boost for McBride as well.
All right. Trey McBride has been great since Jacoby Brissett's kind of come in. Brissett's been feeding him. Do you feel it feels crazy to say, but it looks like Brissett has been able to run this offense like significantly better than Kyler Murray has in the past. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that continues throughout this week of the NFL. Next weekend, let's look towards a team coming off the bye. Titans have looked horrible this year in kind of like every facet. I'm kind of going to hit you with a two-pronged question here. Do you think that the return of Calvin Ridley should give this team like a relatively a boost in the passing game, increase like the basement floor that they had? And also, I want to ask you about the running back situation after. But yeah, talk us through a little bit about Calvin Ridley, how his return might or might not help Cam Ward and this passing attack.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a boost because Ridley's a better player than Van Jefferson, but I'm not really sure that it's gonna be like something that jumps off the page. I mean, this passing offense has been so bad all year. We don't know exactly what Ridley's role is going to be like coming off the injury. He was the pretty clear wide receiver one at the beginning of the year pre-injury, but over the past few weeks, they've started to get Aomanor and especially Chimere Dike more involved as they kind of lean into the youth movement. So we don't know if Ridley's going to be as featured as he was at the beginning of the season. And it's a tough matchup against this Texans defense. So I mean, it's an upgrade for Tennessee because Ridley is clearly better than Van Jefferson, but I don't really think we're going to see fireworks fly for the Titans or anything.
Yeah, Cam Ward, 181, and half passing yards listed at FanDuel. And, I mean, Ridley's at like 36 and a half receiving yards. So both pretty relatively low numbers, but for them, kind of makes a lot of sense. Tyjae Spears versus Tony Pollard. How do you see this split working out post-bye? We've kind of seen them since Spears has been back. We've seen Spears kind of work his way up and almost get close to a 50-50 split. I think we've talked about this previously, but from what I've seen, Spears looks better. Spears looks like he has more juice. Pollard just looks kind of over the hill as a running back. Do you think this is finally the week we see a flippening of these two, or do you think it will just be 50-50 again? Or close to 50?
We're still projecting Pollard ahead. I don't think it would be particularly surprising if we see them make a change post-bye, but I haven't seen any like coaching quotes or anything to indicate that, and so we're kind of just leaning into the split it was pre-bye. And Pollard did get a little bit more in week 9 relative to the 2 weeks prior. It was also kind of a tighter game script there than it usually is for the Titans against the Chargers, I think it was. But as far as what the split will look like, it's definitely uncertain coming out of the bye. You know, like you said, a lot of the time we see teams just decide to make changes in the bye. But we're pretty much just projecting it the same.
All right, let's flip over and talk the Giants game here. Green Bay taking on New York at home. Who's going to be the biggest like benefactor of this switch to Jameis Winston? We don't really see many lines posted. Theo Johnson listed at like around 41.5 receiving yards. I believe Darius Slayton is hurt and he hasn't practiced yet, so we don't know if he's going to play. And then Wan'Dale Robinson's listed at like around 57.5 receiving yards. So, like, who do you think could be a benefactor? Is there any name you're looking to pop up, let's say, if Darius Slayton doesn't play, to, like, closer to Sunday? Is there any name that you're looking for that you want to kind of hit towards his overs or unders? Slayton is for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Slayton's out.
Yeah, Slayton is out. And it's a huge mess at wide receiver 2 there. Last week it was Gunnar Olszewski who took that role. They have Jalen Hyatt as well. And then they re-signed Isaiah Hodgins or got him back. He's familiar with the offense already, although obviously there's a new coach, so we'll see how that works out. So we don't really know who's going to be the wide receiver 2 there. Olszewski got it last week, so maybe he's the favorite. But given that uncertainty, I think Wan'Dale Robinson and Theo Johnson are the 2 guys who you'd look to. We don't really have an over on either of them right now. Our projection is kind of still in like a work in progress with Slayton having been ruled out fairly recently. Wan'Dale, I think, would be the main benefactor, though. He's typically been a more underneath guy. His average up the target is up 2 yards over his previous career high. So a little bit more downfield volume for Wan'Dale so far this year, although still not a ton. But I think he could just get a ton of targets given the state of the Giants wide receiver core.
Yeah, like, do you think they're going to be rolling with like their receiving core is just so decimated? Are they going to be rolling like 2 tight end sets, like 12 personnel, like rolling Daniel Bellinger out there? Like, what do you think could be? Is that's what you're leaning towards here?
Yeah, I mean they've used Bellinger quite a bit since Neighbors got hurt. game script might be an issue here. So we'll see how long they can stick with the 2 tight end stuff. But I definitely think it's an uptick for Bellinger too. We kind of have Bellinger, Olszewski, Jalen Hyatt. They have Ray McLeod too, but he's mostly been the slot guy for them, so maybe a little less affected. We kind of have them all like in the same vicinity because we don't exactly know how the target shares are going to work out there.
Okay, then quick question. I'm going to put you on the spot here. How often does Jameis Winston like to check down and throw to his running backs, Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary, in the fold right now? Like, intuitively, just thinking back of watching Jameis Winston play, I don't think he does a lot of that stuff. Does he? Am I mistaken here? Or?
Yeah, not as much. I definitely think it's a downgrade relative to someone like Dart or especially Russell Wilson if he'd been starting. But they don't really have a ton of options here, so I do still think they're gonna have to throw to Tracy and Singletary a little bit.
All right, sounds good. They're relatively low numbers here, 16.5 and 7.5 for Singletary. Not available at FanDuel yet for Singletary, but market's like around 7.5. And if you feel like he might get some better usage or more usage than Tyrone Tracy, then maybe you go for it. Last one I have here is kind of like a deep cut, and this is kind of I'm asking this one for personal reasons. Dalton Kincaid is out this week. Dawson Knox seems to is got a ton of usage. Last week when Dalton Kincaid was out, saw more routes run, but like Jackson Hawes, what's his name? I don't know. Anyways, he looks good. I think he looks really good when he's on the field. Do you think that it's going to be a closer split than people realize between these two guys, or is it just like full go for Dawson Knox?
I think if the script stays normal, Dawson Knox is the clear pass catching tight end there. Hawes is pretty much like he's an elite blocker, almost like a 6th offensive lineman. So if they get up early, then we could see a ton of Jackson Hawes and see Hawes play more than Knox. But if the script stays normal, I think Knox is the definite pass catcher there.
Okay.
And I think that he's never been a big target guy like Kincaid. Kincaid on a per route basis is an elite target earner. Knox is definitely not that, but he is a threat near the red zone. And I think on passing downs, Knox is the clear guy.
Yeah, Knox clear the guy. I just thought maybe, again, like we're not going to get any Haas yardage totals, but maybe deep cut anytime touchdown score for myself on that Sunday morning where I wake up and find a good price, click the button. Speaking of deep cut anytime touchdown scores, I tasked you with one. Talk us through it. What did you find? What'd you end up with?
Yeah, I mean, this one's definitely ugly, but we're going to go with Robbie Chosen 9-1 anytime touchdown on FanDuel. Terry McLaurin is obviously out. Traylon Burks was the wide receiver 2 by routes run last week. He is also out. Chosen was the wide receiver 3 by routes run last week. It's a big rotation after Deebo Samuel. They've got Robbie, they've got Jalen Lane, and they've got Chris Moore. And I think all of them are going to play fairly extensively. But Chosen was 3rd by routes run last week, 2nd among players who are actually going to play this week, with Traylon Burks also out now. And there's a pretty healthy total in this game despite 2 below average offenses. So I'm going to go with Robbie Chosen 9-1.
All right, I love it. Robbie Chosen 9-1. Fingers crossed we get this one across the finish line here. But again, 9-1. It's going to be a tough one. But hey, nothing like a sweat at 9 a.m., right? 9:30 a.m. sweat. Let's give it to us for this game. Jack, appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon.
For sure. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome stuff there. Robbie Chosen 9-1. Like, gonna wake up 9 o'clock.
Get it over with early.
or you start the day with a big win.
Start the day with a banger.
I hope you're not betting too much on these 9-1 bets. Like, you shouldn't be betting that without your means. Also, like, I wanted to mention this before we brought on Jack. Whenever I read ad reads, like, I'm starting to read, like, I'm listening to other podcasts. They do their FanDuel ad reads as well. I'm starting to read along the disclaimer with them. I'm like losing my mind here a little bit.
Yeah,
with that stuff.
Whenever it gets like slightly adjusted, it really throws you off because you can almost do it without reading it at a certain point.
Yeah, like when I was coming in today, I was listening to Josh Pate's college football podcast, and the disclaimer popped up, and I was like singing along to the disclaimer as if it was like a song.
Yeah.
Anyways, fun stuff there. Robbie Chosen 9-1 for those who missed it. Yeah. All right. Couple more guests here before we bring on David Sanchez. So just a quick reminder, guys, do us a huge favor. Smash the like button. Goes a long way for us here on the channel. And if you're new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button. And if you've done both those things and you're like, what the heck could I do? I've already done that, Jason. Just do us a huge favor. Tell your friends about us. If they like sports, if they like betting, it's the place to be. especially on their lunch hour. Anyways, without further ado, let's bring him on. He's a 3-time Grey Cup champion, former Chargers cornerback. You can see him on TSN, and he's live from Winnipeg right now. David Sanchez, how's it going, my friend?
It's going well. Just get a quick Robbie Chosen comment. If you've ever spoken to Robbie Chosen, he is a special dude. Probably I don't know if most special is the great descriptor, but I had to sit down with him 2 years ago, and I walked away saying this is the most interesting man in the NFL, and I don't know why, but he's a peculiar cat. That's for sure.
Very, very interesting guy, and I'm worried. I'm thinking you got to sit down with Mac Hollins next because I think they might have to go head to head for most interesting man in the NFL. Both great guys, though. Both great guys. So
yeah,
let's
I think a different kind of interesting. I think, yeah.
All right. First of all, how's Winnipeg? How's your flight there? Everything good? You're settled in your hotel? Everything's good there?
Yeah, all good. I've been behaving myself, so I get in my sleep and I'm ready to rock. Yeah, all is good.
Love to see it. How are the vibes there in the city? Like, can you tell that the Grey Cup is going to be happening this Sunday there? Is it like, because I know the Blue Bombers fans are probably a little pissed seeing the Rough Riders in the Grey Cup here, but are you getting any of that sentiment there, or is it just kind of you're seeing Rough Riders fans, you're seeing Alouette fans, you're seeing CFL fans around?
Yeah, I mean, we were quietly knowing or hoping that Sask made it, because you know that if Sask is here, there's going to be a lot of folks around town. It's packed full of fans. You walk down the street and everybody's yelling stuff and cheering their squads and having fun. So it's a good atmosphere when you get either of those two teams, Sask or Winnipeg, in the Grey Cup. They travel, so I try not to be biased, but just for the sake of having a good environment here at the Grey Cup, it's nice to have one of those guys here.
Awesome. Sweet stuff there. Alouette's taking on the Rough Riders. Right now, line at FanDuel's at 3.5. Total's at 48.5. And an interesting thing you just brought up here is it seems like it's more of it's going to be a Rough Rider dominated crowd. Do you think there's going to be like a little bit of a home field advantage here, even though they're on a neutral field, with the amount of fans that might be pouring in for Saskatchewan?
Yeah. Surprising to me, talking to Winnipeg fans out here, they're obviously bitter arch rivals. You'd think that the Winnipeg people would cheer against Sask or boo Sask, but the sentiment has actually kind of been that they're more alike than they are different, and so they'll kind of cheer for the West. So that was a shock to me. So I think actually a lot of the Winnipeg people might that are keeping their tickets might cheer for Sask, but it's going to be a massive. I'd say a 90-10 Sask split. It's a massive home game here for Sask.
All right, sweet stuff. Let's give a breakdown of this game, because there's these kind of been a tale of two different seasons for both of these teams, right? Alouette's kind of started out really slow, battled through injury, and then they're now peaking kind of at the right time here. And then the Rough Riders just been dominant all year, best team in the CFL throughout the year, and they've finally made their way to the Grey Cup. So yeah, break down this game. What do you see happening?
Yeah, I mean, well, from a line standpoint, it's I think that the line kind of indicates that the home advantage for Sask, and a strong home advantage. I don't see how this should be a 3.5. The number should be 3.5, and staying on 3.5. It's I think on a neutral field, I think Montreal's probably the better team. I know you said that during the season that Sask has been strong all year and Montreal's kind of wavered, but Montreal has only wavered when they didn't have their quarterback, and they have Davis Alexander in there. Montreal is probably the more talented team because of Davis. And I was at practice yesterday. He looks healthy. I mean, he's got a hamstring. For those who don't know, he's not going to be able to run as much as the guy's 12-0. He has not lost a game as a professional, as a starting quarterback. And so, yes, he's not going to be 100%, and he's an athletic quarterback, so that's going to be an issue. But watching him yesterday, he's able to make all the throws. I saw him roll out to his right and then torque and throw a ball about 45 yards back and out route to the left. Anyone who's had a hamstring injury, and this is probably good bettors information, but anyone who's had a hamstring injury knows that when you twist and torque, and even if you're throwing you'll feel that in your hamstring. That's an issue, and he's doing that on that was day one of practice. If it was a real issue, he wouldn't be doing that. So I think he's healthier than I think some expect, and he might have been, I don't want to say playing up the injury, but I think he was probably babying the injury a bit and taking care of it at the end of last game. He's probably healthier than folks think.
Really? Okay, that was interesting because that was actually going to be my follow-up question here. So you've been able to go to practice, you've been able to see him play. Seems like he looks healthy because other people I've talked to about this game is they're worried about the health of Davis Alexander here. And you're telling us live on air that he might be a lot better than people are letting on.
Yeah, I would worry about it as well. I also worry about it. Otherwise, I would have jammed Montreal at plus 3.5 already, and I haven't. So I also worry about it. I just think that I think he's better than. I honestly wasn't sure if he was going to be able to walk or even play in the game at all. And that is completely out of the window. He'll be out there, and I think he'll be somewhat limited, but I think he's gonna be out there.
All right, something to monitor live for the game. I want to talk a little bit about X factors. So like, I want you to put us in two scenarios here. So if the Alouettes win, it's because of this player standing out. If the Rough Riders win, it's because of this player standing out. And I don't want you to say quarterback for either of these teams. That's a cop-out answer. I want to put you on the spot here a little bit. So give me your X factor for both these teams.
Come on, what kind of professional do you think I am here? You're going to ask the X factor, I'm going to answer the quarterback? Come on now. Come on, give me a little bit of credibility here. I go. Look, and I'll talk quarterback in it when I talk bets in a minute if you want. But I would say the X factor for Montreal is going to be Tyson Philpott. I mean, this Tyson Philpott. You look at the dimensions of the CFL field. Two things: dimensions of the CFL field, and then the way Montreal runs their offense. He's the Z receiver, which is the farthest guy out to the field, and which usually is a guy that doesn't get a ton of targets. He's kind of usually an afterthought. But the way Montreal runs their offense, it's a ton of two back. So it's just, instead of having three receivers out there, there's two. So he has all that field to work with. They use him there for a reason. They move him in, they'll tighten up his splits, and then they work all that field with him because he's their best guy. He also used to be a running back. So a lot of their they use their quick passing game as part of their ball control running game. So he gets a ton of targets, and he's really good with his yak. I would say he is the X factor. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 10, 13 targets. He's that much involved in their quick game just to get the ball in his hands. So he's also the big play guy. So he's the guy, no question. Tyson Philpott. And he also had, for those who don't know, he had the game winning 2 years ago. He had the game winning catch in the Grey Cup to win it for Montreal.
Yeah, looking at some Philpott lines right now, 5.5 receptions over plus 118 seems to be out there right now. Giving us a little signal there. Anyone?
For sure.
Anyone you like on the Rough Riders here?
Yeah, the Rough Riders, like from the receiving core standpoint, they kind of spread around. Their best receiver is Keyshawn Johnson. And not not give me the damn ball, USC Jets Keyshawn, but another Keyshawn. He's their best guy, and he's hurt. So they say he's trending towards playing. It's really difficult because there's no real number one guy other than him. So that's kind of something to monitor. If Keyshawn's in there, he would be a guy I look at. Sam Emilus is the other kind of inside receiver who gets the bulk of that kind of grunt work in the middle of the field. Everything goes through AJ. So, I mean, any AJ's number right now, you have AJ's rushing number up there.
Yeah,
but
his rushing number is 81.5 right now.
I mean, Montreal's defense is it's heavy zone blitz. They blitz more than anybody else in the CFL through the playoffs. Percentage-wise, I think they're at 42, 43% in the two playoff games. It's like 15% more than anybody else. So they will blitz, and it's a bunch of zone blitz. So that being said, the run game is there. There's going to be gaps. They kind of stunt and slant. That's how Montreal plays defense. There's going to be places for AJ to run. They'll stick to the run. AJ's run number at 81 yards is probably a decent play. I know there's limited possessions in a championship game, but I would lean towards AJ's over in that as well.
Yeah, maybe he could break one out big for us here. Before I let you go here, it seems like you had a couple prop bets that you like. You already gave out a couple. Do you have anything more you like on the board? Talk us through what you like here, because I appreciate all the knowledge you're sharing.
Yeah. The Tyson receptions I like a lot. Also, just a little a little nugget. Tyler Snead, anytime touchdown, depending on where and what you get his number at. Don't I don't like to use the word value with anytime touchdowns in CFL markets because I don't think there's such a thing. But but he's probably the best one of the lesser of any evils is Tyson Snead. He's the roommate of Davis Alexander. They're very close. They're very close friends. They have a great rapport. And so even him at 2,200 for MVP might not be bad for a sprinkle just because of him and the quarterback's relationship. If he all of a sudden gets an early touchdown, I could see Davis trying to get him the ball just because of their relation. And the other thing is, if you like Montreal to win this game, if you're getting Davis Alexander plus 220, I don't see many paths to where Montreal wins and Davis is not the MOP. They can't run the ball. Of the MVP in Canada, they can't run the ball, and I just don't. If he's throwing for 300 yards, it's going to be him. So at 220, if you like Montreal, it's probably not a bad little play there to take Davis Alexander the MOP if you like Montreal to win.
Yeah, it's a good little derivative there. If you want the Alouettes at the money line plus 152, or like you said, take them at plus 220 to win the MVP. All right, give me your final prediction for this game. I guess you kind of gave us the MVP prediction already, which is what I was going to ask you as well. But yeah, give us your final prediction for this game.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I don't think my producers at TSN would love me giving my game pick 2 days before the broadcast, but so I probably will hold off on the broadcast pick at this point. But yeah, I think the number. I at 3.5. I like Montreal plus 3.5. That I think Davis is healthy. I think he makes enough plays with his legs if need be, and I don't think SAS offense is explosive enough to blow anybody out. So I would look at Montreal plus 3.5 as probably. I don't love any of these. The numbers are all pretty good right now. They did a nice job here at FanDuel with these numbers, but that would be the one I would look at.
Yeah, we're gonna need practice reports, updates. Are they practicing today as well, or is this?
Yeah, it's all closed now. It's all closed. But the best, I'll give you this one. The best bet is the Philpott receptions, not yards, but the receptions. 5.5 is the best bet.
All right, plus 118. We love that. Davis, appreciate you joining us today. We'll be looking forward to your coverage on the CFL and the Grey Cup, 6 p.m. Eastern time. You guys can check it out. Davis, appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, fellas.
Awesome. Enjoy Winnipeg. Have a good rest of your day. Good stuff there from Davis. Hope you guys in the chat enjoyed it as well. One's in the chat for Davis Sanchez as he makes his way out. Yeah, excited to watch. Good stuff there. We have a loaded 4 p.m. slate in the NFL. Plus, we're blessed with the Grey Cup. Just greatness galore. The people with the 2 TVs, the 1 TVs, you guys are just shaking your fist at the air because you're not going to be able to enjoy some great football from 4 to like 8 p.m. It just sucks. I feel bad for you. Just buy it. Buy a second TV, third TV, whatever you need. Buy another TV. All right. Yeah. It's good stuff there from Chez. Rob's making fun of me because he said I heard a USC reference and my ears perked up. Oh man, we're over the 1.5 every single show. We get over that 1.5. So, yeah, good stuff there. Good stuff there. Before we bring on George, just want to quickly remind you guys about our Discord? No, we're going to talk about Hit the Books. What am I talking about? Today's Hit the Books Day. If you love college football, we got the best show around. Brad Powers and Joey Knish. We break down the games on the college football slate for Week 12, giving you best bets, reading your comments tonight. Hit the Books, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the Hit the Books YouTube channel. Also, as well, if you haven't listened to Circle Back already, circle back to the Circles Off YouTube channel. Went live at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. You're going to love it. It's a great episode today, or that released today. It was Porter, Mr. Peanut Butter, Joey Knish, and, of course, Jacob. Keeping everything in line. I thought Porter did pretty well today.
Yeah, I enjoy having Porter on.
Yeah.
It's always he's always prepared to provide like a different perspective on things.
Yeah, no, I thought
the normal cast doesn't always bring, not in a negative way, in a good way.
No, Knish sucks. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I agree. Knish sucks. Anyways, let's dive into things here. George is going to come on. You guys know the drill. We're going to talk through Survivor. We're going to talk through Underdog Parlay. We also have some prop bets for you. So get those fingers, get those Get those thumbs ready to go. He's the director of marketing at the Hammer HQ. He's the host of Forward Progress. George, how's it going?
Doing well, my friend. I really was enjoying Chezzy on with you breaking down the Grey Cup. I have a confession to make, though, Jason.
Talk through it. Let's hear it.
So you know how the Grey Cup is like 6 o'clock on Sundays. So then at one point we have the Grey Cup and the Sunday Nighter kind of running into each other. One year, there was also a third thing on TV, was the Miss Universe pageant. And as a diehard football fan, I watched the Miss Universe pageant. I actually enjoy that. It's very fascinating to see all the countries and how the elimination process goes down.
That's your favorite part, is the elimination process, the countries that participate. That's it. It's just a very good global event that shows the representation of many countries around the world. Is that what you're looking for, eh?
Yeah, no, the Q&A and the talent part of the show is off the charts good.
I'm pretty sure the entire show is about talent. But anyways, let's get into our Survivor plays for this week. There's a couple teams that you can take. We're getting to the point now where, like, so many teams have been taken. It all depends on your
availability,
on your availability, on what you got remaining. So where do you want to start with here? Let's maybe start with, I don't know, I guess let's start with Buffalo if you still have them kicking around.
Yeah, they only have a 12 to 18.5% availability. Win probability 70%. I guess the case for them is their last 3 really good spots. Week 14 home against Cincinnati, which suddenly gets a little bit more difficult if Joe Burrow's back in the mix. Week 16 at Cleveland and week 18 versus the Jets, and I don't know what motivations will be on. They are a 1% ownership this week. I guess, listen, they're going to be low because there's not much ability left. But in a tough week where the Bucs are now going to be without offensive lineman Ben Bredesen and no Godwin and no Bucky Irving confirmed, even with Kincaid out, it's tempting at less than 1% ownership to want Buffalo with their 70% win probability here.
Yeah, and it's super tempting. If you have Buffalo, I scratch my head why you wouldn't want to take them here, because the Thanksgiving games are such like a choke point. The feeling of maybe potentially losing while still having Buffalo is like so like damning to me, just thinking about that in itself. So yeah, it seems like people are saving them though. 12-ish% available, only 1% ownership this week. Who knows what they're saving for? Because would you even be able to use them in week 18? They might not start starters.
Yeah, week 16 at Cleveland was the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Week 14 versus Cincinnati, but Burrow
could be back.
It changes the equation for sure.
Yeah. So I guess maybe if you are in survivor pools, you're hoping for a low pick percentage on maybe Buffalo here, and some people get a little cheeky and use them on Cincinnati, and maybe that's when they get booted. Up next, you like Green Bay, 7.5 point favorites. A little bit more availability here, around 20-ish%. Talk us through this one.
Yeah, I think this is the single best availability. You got helped out with, the Giants are going to be without Darius Slayton, and obviously Jackson Dart's the big one. They only have 2 other spots, week 12 home against Minnesota, week 14 home against Chicago. I think those games are significantly tougher. 6 to 8% ownership projected this week and a 76% win probability. So one of the best win probabilities on Sunday, and low ownership projection. Green Bay's a slam dunk spot if you have them here.
Yeah. We're also getting to a point now with, most pools probably had like 50-ish% get through already. So a lot of us are sweating and trying who to decipher to pick. So we had Green Bay, we had Buffalo. Let's talk Houston at Tennessee. I see this game as like a potential landmine spot, which we've talked about earlier in the season. 15 to 17% ownership is what you have here. Pretty wide availability, around 70 to 80%. Do you agree with me here that the Houston Texans might be a landmine on the road against Tennessee off a bye?
Yeah, here's what you're squaring in your head. There's 2 other spots to take them. Week 15 versus Arizona, week 16 versus Las Vegas. But you're going to have Stroud available potentially in those weeks because you don't know what the future holds. It's tough without Stroud, and 15 to 17% ownership. They have a 73% win probability. This might be a tough spot because I think there's a better team in that same win probability this week that's not Houston. So and I think we're going to discuss Houston and Tennessee a little bit later in our segment. Pittsburgh's like the identical spot, right? Close line,
Yes.
70% win probability. If you're not using Pittsburgh here, it's week 15 home against Miami, who's catching a heater right now. And week 17 at Cleveland's always going to be tough. Like I could just picture Cleveland, December, like that game could be a blizzard. If even the week 15 against Miami, this feels like an ideal spot, especially when you consider that 4 to 8% ownership. So, anywhere from 2 to 3 to 1 less ownership versus Houston on a similar win probability. It feels like Pittsburgh is a better spot.
Yeah, I think I agree with you here. You kind of bucket these two teams together. Pittsburgh's at home. Cincinnati's defense is just so porous and just like kind of lets everything through. Tennessee just really scares me coming off of this bye. Last team you'd want to consider taking. Very, very high availability, but it depends what kind of pool
format. Yeah, it's a difference between, Jason, a 16% ownership for Baltimore this week versus less than 1% in Circa where you're going to need them, or in any other league where you need them for Thanksgiving. There's other survivors. They got so many spots. It's this week against Cleveland, week 12 home against the Jets, week 13 home against Cincy, week 14 home against Pittsburgh, week 15 at Cincinnati. A lot of different opportunities. 60 to 70% availability. Depending on your format, you may want them, but I think anybody who has a Thanksgiving game to consider is not even looking at this game.
Yeah. I kind of have both Baltimore and the Lions, and it's just kind of tough to decide between the two. Not for this week, but for you almost have to work backwards if you're Thanksgiving. You got to decide what you have here and figuring it out.
Well, you're set up quite nicely if you still have the Lions next week home against the Giants, and then Baltimore week 13 home against Cincy.
Yes. Yeah.
You get through this week, you're probably comfortably through the next two as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see kind of got to weigh. You got to weigh what's more available in these pools for that Thanksgiving game. Again, I'm just circling that Houston spot. Very, very scary spot, I think. Maybe I'm overthinking it a little bit. This could be a week where everyone kind of squeaks through and we're all fine. Hopefully not too much carnage because 50% of the pool's already through. So, all right. Hopefully that you guys got some good value out of that. I know I did for sure. George, we always talk on the Thursday and kind of come to helps me come to a conclusion on what I think I might do for my survivor pick. Let's move along. Last week, TreVeyon Henderson receiving yards lost, unfortunately. We were a week early, George. Early.
I'll tell you why it's such a weird skew. So New England had a top 2 rush EPA last week because TreVeyon had the 2 explosive runs. They were bottom 3 in rush success rate. So they were running into a brick wall.
Yep.
And they didn't pivot to the passing it to him out of the backfield like we thought. So that part we got right. But it never manifested in catches. This week, though, they decided TreVeyon, they could use him in all aspects of the game. Yeah. So a week late on that handicap. It's okay. We'll make up for it. I got a couple prop looks. One I'll describe in the Underdog parlay because it's correlated. But we were talking about that Ravens-Cleveland game. Mm-hmm. We're expecting high winds and some gusts up to 30 mile per hour. The last time the Browns played in a weather game was against Miami, and they gave Quinshon Judkins 25 carries, basically force-fed him. Dylan Gabriel does not have the strongest arm. Mm-hmm. So the likeliness that they want to air it out with him in a high wind game does not feel correlated. The Ravens, we talk about their defense has gotten better since all their guys have gotten back. They're still 26th in defensive rush EPA, 27th in defensive rush success rate. Quinshon Judkins right now on FanDuel, and I think there might be a couple better prices in market, but I still like over 70.5 rushing yards, minus 114 at FanDuel. Mm-hmm. They're just going to feed him the rock, and it feels like this game's going to be a close game where the game script maybe doesn't get out of hand because Baltimore's going to be without Rashad Bateman, which limits their potential options against a very, very good Cleveland defense.
All right.
That's where I see that going, the Quinshon Judkins angle.
Yeah, no, pretty good stuff here. Pretty widely available in market. That's 70.5, minus 114 of all the 70.5s that I see on my board. It's of the better pricing. There is one 69.5 out there, but TBD on how much you can actually get on that. 70.5 rushing yards, minus 114 towards the over. Quinshon Judkins, love him. He looks great. I texted TA, I think in his second or third games, I'm like, this guy is such a pleasure to watch. He looks great. Never responded to me. So, anyways, let's move on to the underdog parlay. I'm not.
Win this thing. We're hovering around it, Jason.
Well, I said last week you gotta start value. You gotta take my input a little bit more. And I think you did a little bit this week. Because I did say the Eagles last week. Did we not discuss the Eagles a little bit? But you told me no. So let's talk through this one here.
We went 2 for 3 last week, and then the third game we lost in overtime. It's not that I didn't value the Eagles. I didn't like that it was a Monday game and I didn't have enough injury information. It was one practice report, so there was just too many, too
many variables.
Yeah, too many variables still to go.
Okay, all right. Well, then just talk us through this one here.
Let's start off with Carolina, Atlanta. Atlanta's been in our first 2 underdog parlays and have cost us both time. I promise you this isn't like an angry fade of them. I actually just think it's a great matchup for the Carolina Panthers. Atlanta likes to run the ball with Bijan Robinson. They're 12th in rush success rate. The problem is Carolina happens to be a really good run defense, 5th in defensive rush success rate. Atlanta's also dealing with the injuries on their interior O-line. Matthew Bergeron's going to miss again. Chris Lidstrom's going to play, but he's not been practicing. And it feels like he's, dealing with an injury. I also like J.C. Horn on Drake London. The truth is all the values on the other side of the ball, Atlanta cannot stop the run. It was apparent before Divine Diablo went down. It became even more glaring once he did go down. The strength of Carolina's offense is their run game, 7th in rush success rate. Atlanta's 29th in defensive rush success rate, one of the worst rush defenses in football. All the quotes last week that came out after the game about how they overlooked New Orleans, that won't happen again because Canales probably drilled it into this team about having a great practice. I actually like the Rico Dowdle. That's the other prop I want to give out. Over 86.5 rush yards, minus 114. The matchup is very, very good for Carolina. Atlanta's a 3.5-point favorite, but this feels like a true coin flip game.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like a coin flip game. Atlanta feels like they've come out a little too much here and not like a bounce back guy. Like obviously every team wants to win a little bit more, but I think losing to like the Saints, who are like the worst team in the league, you're going to see things that are a little bit more detail oriented maybe for this Carolina Panthers group. So Panthers are the first one. Who's the second one we got?
So the second one is going to be the Seattle Seahawks against the LA Rams. The truth is, I just make this line 2.5. I can't get to where the market has gotten to on the Rams. I was talking about on the Tuesday Best Bet show that the one advantage that the Rams have is that Seattle can't run the ball. Like both teams find success throwing the ball. Rams can actually run the ball, but both teams are very good at defending both the run and the pass. The truth is Seattle doesn't have to run the ball if they don't want to. I know they have interior O-line issues. Jalen Sundell, their center, is going to be out. And their right guard, Anthony Bradford, is one of the worst guards in football. Now, that being said, one of the Rams' interior D linemen, Kobe Turner, hasn't practiced this week. That's going to be interesting because that kind of mitigates a little bit of the edge that the Rams had on the interior. But the truth is, you remember when I told you that I couldn't get to the numbers last week with the Jets? The truth is, I think this is another coin flip game. The only reason I have the Rams 2.5 points favorites, I think they're slightly better than Seattle, but I think this is quite an interesting game that either team could win. The one injury I want back, I want Ernest Jones back for Seattle though, because I think he's very, very key to what they do defensively.
All right, second one there. Let's close. Give us a third one. Close it out.
All right, Houston, Tennessee. I am back. On the Titans, baby. The truth is, though, C.J. Stroud out is obviously a huge variable.
Yep.
They're also missing Jalen Petrie, their starting safety, who also plays the nickel when they get into that package. Here's the key, though. The Houston interior O-line. Jake Andrews is one of the worst centers in football. Juice Scruggs and Jarrett Patterson are awful at guard. Ed Ingram's going to be back, so that helps. The strength of the Titans defense, and I'm obviously hoping Jeffrey Simmons plays. is Tavondre Sweat, Jeffrey Simmons, the interior of that D-line. Very much can see a case where they blow up the interior of the Houston O-line. The other thing is Houston's not a good red zone offense. They don't run the ball well. So if they have to settle for field goals and they have their backup kicker in because Kaimi Fairburn's going to be out again, I could see the Titans winning truly an ugly game here. On the other side of the ball, Calvin Ridley being back is good. I'm hoping, Jason, with 2 weeks that they installed something offensively.
Yeah, no,
I've seen some stuff that I like from Cam, and I've seen a lot of bad from him. I'm very worried about what happens when he's on offense. So I'm going to hope that Tennessee wins one of those ugly 13-10, maybe 17-16 type games.
Yeah, hopefully we can get like some help from the special teams here. Also, like maybe we see like we've all heard about this post-bye rookie bump. Maybe we don't just see it for Cam Ward. We see it for Alec Manor, who like I think is like going to be like a legitimate receiver in the NFL, like a starting receiver in the NFL. And I think a lot more people will start talking about him soon enough. I think he looks really good.
The guy has been coming on even stronger than him is Jamari Dyke, DK.
DK, yeah.
His last name is pronounced Dike. The truth is though, Jason, this is always a tell because Houston is one of the teams I'm considering in Survivor.
Yeah.
I get extreme discomfort when I'm thinking about putting in Houston in. And it's the concept of like needing margin with a bad quarterback. We talked about this with Bryce Young last week.
Yes.
And it feels eerily similar that it would be disgusting to want to have to root for Houston in Survivor. It's gonna be interesting, man, because Houston's defense is very, very good.
It's gonna be a tough one, George. It looks like you might be hedging yourself now by
Jason. It's just a price thing, man. Like it's
yes, of course.
I'm not betting these expecting to win. I'm betting stuff that's mispriced to where my number is versus the market number is. It's a simple game we play. That's all.
Yeah. Right now, Panthers plus 166, Titans plus 220, Seahawks plus 144. You combine those all together, you get around 19, 20 to 1, depending on where you're betting it. Also, a reminder, I tell people all the time because I do this as well. I would round robin these. I round robin these the twos. When bet them individually, I like round robining up to the twos. And, if we can get 2 of 3, then we might come out a little bit over the top depending on how much you bet per. So, yeah. I also didn't give you love for the Seahawks love, which I appreciate. Finally, people are coming around to the Seattle Seahawks team, Sam Darnold. Listen, Drake May looks really good, but Sam Darnold MVP. Let's get it.
Mike McDonald, Coach of the Year. I like that more than Sam Darnold look. If I'm being honest, I think Mike's done a great job.
I listen. I don't disagree with you, but this game hinges all these futures though. If you like this, if you have any Seahawks in the futures market, this is the hinge right here. Because if they can beat the Rams on the road, got a good shot locking up the division. It's trickle down effect. Yeah.
I agree, man. This game of the week, man.
It's gonna be great.
In a week that Casey and Denver are playing for like AFC West, it's that second fiddle to this. This is the banger game of the week.
Yeah. All right, George. Appreciate you joining the show. Awesome stuff here. Any last words? Any last thoughts before you head out? Any last thoughts on this Week 11 slate of NFL games? What's at the forefront of your mind heading into this week?
All right, I'm gonna sound crazy here because I have not understood the people clamoring for Vegas. It's the most mispriced line that I have on the board. There are some 3s in market. There's some 3.5s. I just think like Dallas is one of the secret teams I'm looking at in Survivor. I think Dallas has a chance to kill Vegas. Dallas, we think of them as a bottom 2 defense in the league, Jason, but Damarian Overshawn's coming off the IR, hasn't played in a year. They acquired Logan Wilson at linebacker, Quinnen Williams, and Malik Hooker's close to coming back. If they get like 24th to 28th level play of defense, Dallas is going to be significantly better. The other thing is CeeDee Lamb, Jason, has not looked great since returning. So he was out 4 weeks with the high ankle. The problem is they say you don't get back to close to 100% production until about the 8-week mark. We might see the best version of CeeDee Lamb we've seen since the injury. And that combined with Pickens feels like there's a huge opportunity because Denver may not have won convincingly against Vegas, but guys were open and Bo Nix wasn't hitting them.
Yeah.
If guys are that open again, Dallas is going to punish Vegas for that.
George, I'm happy you said that because now I can show this clip to my Survivor mates who I play in some other pools with where we have a bunch of entries. I'm like, guys, I really like Dallas this week. And I'm getting told no, but I might have to push back a little bit harder. I fully agree with you with everything that you said. Just a mismatch on both sides of the ball. Love this. Don't love this Dallas defense now, but like it's completely different than what we've known from the last 2 weeks. This Dallas defense. They got
Vegas,
a lot of weapons in. Vegas,
listen, since Colton Miller went down, the O-line, which was already bad, has been
Shambles.
worse.
Yeah.
And they just lost Jackson Powers Johnson. I don't know how they're going to block Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams. Like if they can't get anything going on the ground and Geno Smith is under duress, I don't care how good Brock Bowers is. That's just one weapon you got to shut down.
Yeah, that's all they can kind of create there is with Brock Bowers. So, yeah, tough sledding for this Raiders team. George, appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon.
Thank you, my friend. Have a good one.
Awesome stuff there. I want to keep George on because I feel like we could kind of just talk through this stuff all day, but I got to let you guys go at some point. Anyways, if you like the show, do us a huge favor. Smash the like button. It goes a long way for us here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button. If you have done both those things, you don't know what else to do, reminder, you can go tell a friend or take your significant other's phone. Give us a like and subscribe on that as well, on their YouTube account.
Y'all probably got a lot of phones anyways.
Exactly. I was going to say, any other burner phones you got lying around, you might as well do us a favor here. Smash us. Give us some likes. Give us some love. So we give you the love. We see the love that you give us. But, yeah, just click the button. It takes 2 seconds. What do we have on tap for the rest of the week? I think just hit the books 5 p.m. Eastern time tonight.
Hit the books tomorrow as well, the halftime show.
1:30 p.m. Eastern. Talking with Hitman right now. I want to do the prop show probably around 10:30, between 10:30 and 11:30. This is why we preach subscribing and turning on notifications, because Hitman is like, he's only reliable to hit props. Everything else, not very reliable. Like timing things,
well,
not reliable.
To be fair to him, I mean, he's always there every fourth quarter of prime time.
Yeah, that's
games.
fair. That's fair.
He's usually on time, isn't he?
When there's a game, yeah, but like during the Saturday, it's like
Saturdays are a wild card.
Yeah, because it's all depends on when he can get his tea time. So
at least he doesn't do shows from his car anymore.
Well, he's done 1 or 2 of those this year. Anyways, it is what it is. We still love Hitman, of course. We're just joking around here. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to the Forward Progress HQ YouTube channel. Turn on notifications to be notified when we go live. Also follow us on Twitter so that you know we're going to be live. You'll get that tweet notification of us going live. So yeah, make sure you do all those things. And that wraps up things today. A quick reminder for the chat. Monday, we'll be back here, noon Eastern time. Corby's going to be joining us, but we're going to switch things up. Corby will be in the last spot. Matthew Winnick will be with us as well. We got a fun little third guest who's going to be breaking down the Monday Night Football game as well. But Corby's going to be in the last spot. You're probably wondering yourself why. I ordered the chip. I'm going to do the last chip challenge live on air, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Oh, thank God you're doing it last, dude.
Yeah, there's 0% chance I could have done it with Corby first. Like, just no chance.
Bring some
milk,
like vanilla ice cream,
lemon juice. Heard all the good stuff.
As an experiencer of extremely hot sauce, ice cream was the best remedy.
Okay. Good to know. And I love it that I'm doing it on a Monday which is by far my busiest day. Got hit the books after too. I feel like you guys are gonna be recording Circle Back like cross.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to leave the office.
That's
room.
terrible.
You have to go into like the common area.
What the fuck? All right. Well, extra little bit of torture. People are gonna be like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?" I'm in the common room, like lying on the couch, just huffing and puffing. Anyways, yeah, I'll be doing that. So you're gonna want to tune into that as well. Got a great cast for you next week. Excited to see you guys next week. And that wraps up today's show. It's been the Friday, November 14th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. We will see you guys right here on Monday next week. Have a good one, everyone.